You heard what I said and then called me a liar. Now you refuse to believe what I've shared. Your mind may not want to accept these revelations, but inside you there's a voice saying, accept it, it's the truth. Soon you'll know. Time will help. I feel sorry about your confusion, but this world's never really been about truth or lies. In this world, there's only one thing that's worth knowing. Hard fact. Despite this universal truth, people misguidedly choose to only accept the facts that appeal to their way of thinking. They're so limited, they can only accept the truths that are comfortable for them. So, this is simply about wanting to hang on to your personal power. Realizing things may not have been as we accepted them to be unsettles us. It's overwhelming. Are you absolutely sure that you know the truth?
Youth is a lie. It is nothing but evil. Those who look to rejoice in their youth deceive themselves and those around them, accepting in full the circumstances that devour them. In the face of the great and reverend word youth, they will twist any common interpretation or accepted notion out of recognition. In their minds, lies, secrets, sins, and even failure are nothing more than the spice of youth. If failure is truly the designated mark of one's youth, then would it not be considered abnormal for one not in his youth to still fail at befriending anyone? But I'm sure none of them would admit to that being true. They only define youth to their own benefit. In conclusion, I leave you with this. All you fools who delight in youth, drop dead.
The perfect being, you said? Well, I have to tell you the honest truth as I see it. In this world, nothing perfect exists. It may be a cliché after all, but it's the way things are. That's precisely why ordinary men pursue the concept of perfection. It's infatuation. But ultimately, I have to ask myself, what is the true meaning of being perfect? And the answer I came up with was nothing. Not one thing. The truth of the matter is, I despise perfection. If something is truly perfect, that's it. The bottom line becomes, there is no room for imagination. No space for intelligence, or ability, or improvement. Do you understand? To men of science like us, perfection is a dead end, a condition of hopelessness. Always strive to be better than anything that came before you, but not perfect. Scientists agonize over the attempt to achieve perfection. That's the kind of creatures we are. We take joy in trying to exceed our grasp, in trying to reach for something that, in the end, we have to admit, may in fact be unreachable. In other words, you may think that we operate on the same level, but you're wrong. The moment you started talking about perfection, you embraced an impossible concept, and it already lost to me. That is, of course, if you are indeed a scientist at all.
If I may, I'd like to pose an interesting question. Are all human beings truly equal? These days, everywhere you go, there's talk about the fight for equality. As a wise man once said, heaven does not create one person above or below another. People like to throw his words around. That's not the whole quote. He goes on to say that while we are all equal at birth, pretty soon things begin to change. Academic effort is what sets some people apart to rise above the others. At any rate, humans change over time based on their actions. Truth be told, at the end of the day, equality is just a fantasy. And most of us go through life denying the fact that we live in a meritocracy.
Someone tell me why this scum is claiming to be a king.
Wait, no! Please! Spare our lives! We beg of you!
These humans are complete idiots. Now I want you to think as hard as those puny brains of yours can manage. Have you ever spared a pig or a cow? Because it begged you for its life?
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen. Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated.
There are many types of monsters in this world. Monsters who will not show themselves and who cause trouble. Monsters who abduct children. Monsters who devour dreams. Monsters who suck blood. And monsters who always tell lies. Lying monsters are a real nuisance. They are much more cunning than other monsters.
They pose as humans, even though they have no understanding of the human heart. They eat, even though they've never experienced hunger. They study, even though they have no interest in academics. They seek friendship, even though they do not know how to love. If I were to encounter such a monster, I would likely be eaten by it. Because in truth, I am that monster.
Pirates are evil, the Navy is just, but that's only true because history tells us so. Children who've never known peace have different values than children who've never known war. The one who wins will rewrite the definition of right and wrong. They'll decide the future and how the past is written. Will justice prevail? Why, there's no other way! The winner will define the meaning of justice!
I hate nice girls. Just exchanging hello makes me nervous. Texting just makes it even worse. If I get a call, then for the rest of the day I'll keep checking my phone history with a wide grin on my face. But I know the truth. They're just being kind. Anyone kind to me is also kind to others. I always end up nearly forgetting that. If reality is cruel, then a lie is kindness. And so, kindness itself is a lie. I'd always hold expectations and I'd always misunderstand. And at some point I just stopped hoping. An experienced loner doesn't fall for the same trick twice. As a veteran on this battlefield of life, I'm an expert at losing. That's why I will always hate nice girls.
Every day I've spent here I've wondered, how did all these people let it come to this? Minds and bodies ruined. Dreams of freedom erased. Personalities burned away. No one would want to go to war if they knew what it would do to them. But it's not like we all leapt into that hell knowingly. Most of us were pushed. Some of us were pushed by other people. And some of us were pushed by the environments we grew up in. So, the few who do choose to leap into hell see it differently than the rest. And they're also able to see something beyond the hell. Maybe that something is hope, or maybe it's just another hell. Fact is, you can only find out by moving forward.